What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce Reacts, where we are staying in London, England tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out 5 TV differences in the UK that confused me as an American. Burma side checks 1 hour, ain't going to waste no more time. We're just going to get right into it, folks. We're going to get right into it. Oh yeah.
Hi and welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and US citizen, and in this video, I'm talking about 5 television differences I didn't expect when moving to the UK from America. The first difference on my list has to do with what is considered prime time, or when a lot of the most popular shows are on TV. When I first moved to the UK, I was really surprised that many really popular shows, like Strictly Come Dancing, were on a Saturday night. That seemed to be like the prime time when people would gather around the TV and watch, which I guess makes sense in some ways because it's the weekend. Yeah. But in America, our prime time slots are never weekend nights.
True that.
Typically, if there was going to be a show that everybody back in the day of like regular television, I guess, because a lot of us do streaming now, but back in the day when there was a really popular show that everybody wanted to watch and everybody gathered around or invited your friends over to watch, typically these were going to be on a weekday night. So not a Friday night, not a Saturday night, and not a Sunday night. For example, I remember from my childhood that the American version of The Office, which was very popular when airing, was always on a Tuesday night, if I can remember correctly, and Lost, another very popular show, was on a Thursday night. Appointment viewing in the UK just tends to not follow that same standard. Like I said, Strictly is a super popular show and it's on a Saturday night. Now, the other thing I've noticed, especially when I first moved to the UK as an American, was that the shows that would be in these prime time, like even dinner slots on a weekday night, would be things like Escape to the Country or some sort of like house building show in the UK. And these are what would be on the most popular channels. So you're talking about like BBC or ITV or Channel 4. And I was always so amused by this because I was like, to get a slot like this, to get a really popular slot, so not like a 12 p.m. noon, but a dinner time one, or again, a prime time one, if you were in America, it would have to be some sort of like crime drama or like really high stakes, just like really intense, in your face, like edited like a mile a minute, you can't look away. Whereas I would turn on the TV around dinner time in the UK and it would be like a sheep in a field and someone walking very like quietly through the countryside, and you hear birds tweeting, and it was just such a different culture. And this leads into my third difference, which is that TV shows in general in the UK tended to have a lot less emphasis on fake drama or flashy sound effects. When you watch a Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares in the UK, it is so different than the Kitchen Nightmares in the US. The Kitchen Nightmares in the US, they're gonna have like fake ambulance sounds, fake sirens. They're going to have probably like fake sounds of pots and pans clashing.
Definitely a difference in the UK prime time versus the American prime time. I would say there is more drama related stuff when it comes to the American prime time, like the shows that would be during the dinner slots. So I get what she's saying there, because definitely you wouldn't be seeing like what she was describing as someone walking in the field in those kind of time slots. Never. You would definitely get some high drama action during that time period in those time slots. That makes a lot of sense. I never really look at the contrast here, but sometimes we may tend to, where I'm from, we may tend to see things as everything is an American, like the shows or whatnot. Many people don't even realize that sometimes they're watching an American show or a British show, or well, it's usually either American or British where I'm from. But sometimes we overlook that and we just jump back everything in one, and we think that everything is an American. But what you're saying there makes a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely makes sense.
going to have probably like fake sounds of pots and pans clashing, just intense, like in your face, loud, all of the time kind of editing. And then you watch the UK version and suddenly Gordon seems a lot more chill, and they don't add in all of the fake sound effects or make you feel like you have to keep watching because you need to know where the ambulance siren came from. Turns out it never shows up again. It was just like a marketing and editing trick to get you to keep watching. And yes, Americans do sometimes enjoy calmer shows like The Great British Bake Off, has been popular on streaming services in the US, and we do like a bit of Antiques Roadshow, but these are kind of on the side channels. When you're watching the big channels, the big network TV, it's just so much more in your face, so much louder. You've got laugh tracks piped in a lot of the times, especially for 90s sitcoms. And the shows are just, they just stress you out a lot more on purpose. That is what keeps an American viewer watching, is this fake sound effects, the editing that's, again, really choppy and really just like makes you want to watch because you feel like you're watching a car crash. Turn on the TV in the UK and suddenly your blood pressure can go down like a lot of levels. You can relax, you can learn something, you can watch lots more educational programs, and just there's not the fake and manufactured drama. And every time I turn on one of those shows in the UK, I'm like, this show would never succeed in America because we would not have the attention span to keep watching. Now, the next TV difference that surprised me when I first moved to the UK was the difference in talk shows. So British talk shows are more round table style events. So you're going to have actually sometimes quite a few celebrities or people of interest who join the show, and it's more of a conversation between the host and the celebrities and each other. So often you get some really funny sound clips and sound bites that you see on like YouTube shorts or whatever it is of celebrities interacting with each other on this talk show. In the classic American style of talk show, it's typically going to be the one host and the one guest who has been invited. And yes, they're telling stories and they're bantering between each other, and the American guest is going to have something to promote. But it's not as often that you're going to have multiple people in this more relaxed style of interviewing. Sometimes you will have another celebrity come out and sit next to the person they might not have met, and occasionally the other person might chime in with a question or briefly get involved in the conversation, but it's not really meant to be a roundtable style of discussion. It is really meant to be a host, a person, an interview, and a standard format versus the more casual and relaxed format of British style talk shows. And the last difference on my list that surprised me, and this had to do when people were recommending British TV shows to me, because I would look it up and I would say, but this only has 4 episodes, or this only has 8 episodes. Where are the rest? And what I learned is that British style television typically has always tended towards shorter runs. So you are typically going to have maybe 8 or 12 episodes in a season. Sometimes an entire series is just 12 episodes, and that's it. You get 12 and it's done. It doesn't go on for 4 seasons, 5 seasons, 6 seasons at 22 plus episodes per season. Whereas in America, that is more of the style, and it's changed a bit as streaming has gotten popular, and that's changed things. But back in the days of like primetime network television, if you're talking about big American TV shows like ER, Grey's Anatomy, Lost, The Office, the list goes on, you're going to have multiple, like 5, 6, 7 plus seasons, and these seasons are typically going to have maybe 20 to 24 episodes. When they don't have that many episodes, we all look it up to see if there was some sort of like writer's strike or some reason why they didn't do all of those episodes, because that is kind of a standard American TV show episode runtime. And again, if you're a younger viewer and you're more used to shows that come on streaming platforms, those do tend to have fewer episodes than back in the day. So maybe part of this is just in my childhood, American TV shows had tons and tons and tons of episodes. But it definitely, when I first moved to the UK about 14 years ago, was a big difference for me.
Everything you said there, very true. Good pointers, good observation by her. And when she talked about like the hosting, in terms of when you have like a roundtable talk, the American roundtable talks feel so scripted. It's almost like there are boundaries, and like there's a line. It's an invisible line. They can see it, but we can't see it. But we can feel it. Like the celebrities or the people that are on the show, you actually can feel, know that they can't step over that line. You could feel it, and what you're saying that makes so much sense. I've experienced that so many times, and that's why sometimes you want to watch certain interviews, like on, like let's say like a morning show with like celebrities or with people of interest, and you actually know how the conversation is gonna go because of those boundaries. But when it comes to the British live shows that I've seen in terms of the morning shows, it's more unpredictable. Things could be said and things can be done that you wouldn't expect. But the American ones, you actually know the boundaries, and it doesn't really make it exciting because it's just so scripted, man. And I understand exactly what she's saying there. Didn't really think about it until she made the contrast. So there's a vast difference between the two. Coming to think about it, you got to give the Americans credit where it's due. When it comes to, I would say, like advertisements, they still know how to make advertisements. I don't think anyone has topped them yet in terms of in that department as a whole. I've seen some good Australian ads, some Polish ads, but as a whole, I still think the American, when it comes to like marketing and getting things done, they had enough time to master that craft in terms of selling a product. So they still have it. They're very creative when it comes to advertisements. Yeah, you gotta give them that for sure. But everything she's saying there, spot on. Very good observation by her. She didn't go in the historical aspect that she normally does. I like when she goes in that setting as well. This was a little different from her, which is fine. Yeah, but definitely that this was a good observation, I must say. Yeah. If you want to see that long-term action, like to hit over Dyce Reacts, Radio Music Reactions, this is where I'm going to be making my exit. Until next time, peace out.